turned to be a huge failure and became the worst Sonic game of all time, and also one of the worst mini games ever made.
When the game finally came out in November of 2006, word of mouth quickly spread on just how terrible the game actually was.
The mod speed sections suck. There's no stopping no matter what. You can't correct your position mid-air, so jumping has to be kept to a minimum. If you hit anything, you better pray there's more road to run on, otherwise you'll run into a never-ending animation loop of Sonic getting hit, which will result in a death, and worst of all, you never know what's coming the first time, so pretty much inevitably you're going to die, meaning you have to do the entire mod speed section again once you do.
You recognize it? I think you do need to illuminate all of it. Okay, once. We gotta go right. Let's just go ahead and truck it back to look how silly this is.
See, the camera's so bad that I can't tell where he is. Stop it! Dude, he just like throws me and then catches me. It really is no use.
Guys, seriously, check this out. It's actually really cool. Chaos X did a great job making Sonic 06 playable while still leaving the game itself intact.
Played the last release of P06 enough times to literally have 999 lives in it. I really loved it. What more can I say? All of Sonic's stages with new features and quality of life improvements, as well as Shadow stages for the first time.
Sonic the Hedgehog Project 06 has shined a light into my soul, to the point where I'll be out, you know, like in public, crazy, right? And I'm thinking about when I get to come home and play it again.
So my last video was a very short explanation of why Project 06 has been the only thing to make me happy in the last week, but I thought, fuck it, this game deserves so much more. Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 was an absolute shit show and honestly changed the franchise in so many ways. The failure of Sonic 06 can still be felt to this day, where people still find it necessary to rip this game to fucking shreds. Like, how the fuck are you making a rant in 2020 about it? But I want to make a proper video for Project 06. I want to do it justice, just as Chaos X has done justice for the original game, that honestly could have been so much more. It's truly something that has a lot of hard work and passion put into it, plus I genuinely really love this game, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I still can't believe this game exists. It's like how it's still so unreal that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield actually played Spider-Man again in 2021. Sonic 06 was the last game that had the adventure game's playstyle, the last game to have multiple playable characters that weren't just Sonic clones, and the last game to truly break boundaries that Sonic Team are now just too afraid to do because this game sucked dick. It was the 15th anniversary of the whole franchise, and it's clear as day they wanted to do something grand. If you was to search for reviews of the game today, you'd still find years and years worth of videos about why this game was shit. People don't look at the incredible presentation of the opening cutscene, but instead just meme on the fact that this was the game where a human princess kissed a dead hedgehog corpse. But I mean, why wouldn't they? I mean, you start off with this beautiful CG cutscene. The introduction to Sonic was absolutely perfect. They capture his personality and his power within 30 seconds. It's hard to believe that this cutscene was part of this game. But now, thanks to Chaos X, the gameplay matches the hype from this cutscene, and it is fucking beautiful. When you actually think of the story of the game, you can see it was something different. It was something that was ambitious. They decided to take risks with it. But the story wasn't complete dog shit. Okay, yeah, there was some plot hole. It wasn't the best one, but it was definitely better than claiming Sonic to be tortured for 6 months, but then he looks no different to he does on the cover. Not only that, it's much better than bringing Chaos back only for him to die from one hit from classic Sonic. The gameplay itself was very shit, both because of the glitches, but also because a lot of design choices and just how the characters played. And I don't know if the characters played the way they did because the developers simply didn't have enough time to actually refine the gameplay styles, or if they legit looked at it and thought, this is perfection. First off, the bugs and glitches. There was too fucking many. Sonic falling off the map, multiple different wall breaches for Silver, which, to be honest, probably helped more than do damage. Sonic's gems having absolutely no limit, which broke the game in many ways. Whatever the fuck this is. Knuckles and Rouge refusing to jump off walls, which gave me incredible brain damage. Silver literally being able to throw Sonic out of the universe. But the absolute worst out of all of them was Sonic being so unbelievably dedicated to getting Elise's pussy that he will choose to roll for eternity than to give up. That's only to name a few. Like, usually when it comes to bugs and glitches, I try and look past it if the game's actually fun and playable. Like Vanguard or Battlefield, people give it so much shit, but let's be honest, right? It's not as bad as everyone actually makes it out to be. I can't actually speak for Battlefield, but I've heard that people have definitely overreacted about it. But with Vanguard, I swear to God, people try and use bugs and glitches as an excuse to say the game is complete dog shit and one of the worst CODs ever. Yet, all I see is just nothing but fun gameplay. Sure, yeah, there are bugs and glitches in the game that do need to be fixed, but it never bothered me because the gameplay was actually so fun. I was able to look past it easily. But I can't can't say that about Sonic 06. The problem is that the gameplay just isn't even fun in the first place, and that's to do with the design choices. I mean, if you played the original game, you already know that there was a shitload of glitches, but you also know the game doesn't even make up for that because it's just shit. Like, some things were just the game's dumbass design, pissing people off, like the ball puzzle for Silver. That shit can fuck right off. You also have the physics engine, making it so Sonic is also Spider-Man. How the fuck's he doing that? The vehicles control like shit and were everywhere in Shadow's campaign. Town missions that were just retarded. You have someone ask who the captain is. Motherfucker, it's the guy who asked in the first place. But you know what? Enough about the original. I have to say all of this though because it is important to be able to understand why Project 06 is so special. Above all the gameplay flaws, loading screens were just disgusting. 25 to 30 seconds long and just all over the place. So much time is wasted for these fucking loading screens to just piss off. It completely kills the pacing of the game because it's not like these are just for the town missions. These are actually within stages. The worst being Crisis City that has about 4 for all the fucking characters. Now, Project 06 isn't fully complete, so it doesn't even have any town missions or any hub worlds or anything like that. But even if it did, the load screens were cut down to less than 3 seconds and it makes all the difference. When you're playing a stage, you hit the load zone that acts almost like a breather more than just a way to want to kill yourself of boredom. This alone changes the pacing and makes it so much more bearable. Getting a game over in this game was terrifying only because there would be so many more load screens to go through. So having this resolved just changes everything. I don't know if the issue back then was because the game was too big for old gen consoles, so it just took the piss to actually load. And if that was the case, then it just does go to show that this game truly deserves a second chance because it was too ambitious for its own good, but it was still ambitious. It had a lot of potential and it deserves to be given new life in today's age where things can actually work the way they should. I don't even have to mention that glitches and overall gameplay was just genuinely fixed and now feels like the game is complete. Although the running speed is no different, the speed of the game is majorly improved by the increase in homing attack speed for Sonic and Shadow. This game used enemies with health bars and having that massive delay in between homing attacks for Sonic and Shadow just took the absolute piss to kill anything. You can actually perform and jump out of a spin dash to actually go further. You can activate a spin dash just by pressing the button while moving. You can actually go faster when rolling downhill, and above all else, Shadow can do a spin dash. He couldn't in the original game, fuck knows why, but now he actually can. All these things are just standard gameplay from the adventure games that just weren't there in the original. This makes all the difference to help make the characters go faster, because as it stands, the running speeds for everyone hasn't really changed. But the thing is, the stages in the original were designed for the slower Sonic, so increasing their normal running speed could be dangerous. However, increasing the spin dash speed could be something that would help the game become even more fun. For Shadow, one main issue the game had was the forced button mashing combat, and it didn't help that his homing attack was a lot slower, longer, and had that stupid combo animation that quote-unquote justifies the stronger enemies in his stages. His Chaos Spear and boost was useless, and there was also too many vehicles that just controlled too much like shit to enjoy. Thing is, if you were to ask people that played the original game which campaign was the best, people would probably say Shadow anyway. Now vehicles that aren't needed are simply just gone. His Chaos Boost has levels to it and has this sexy glow coming from it. Level 2 allows Shadow to charge a Chaos Spear that actually does some damage. Chaos Snap has this little teleport animation and is just so fun to snap onto enemies that are slightly out of range. Not only that, when you just hold the button and you just see him annihilating everything, specifically in that one section in Flame Core, it is just... His Chaos Spear can also reset his homing attack once while in the air to once again help reach out of range enemies without having to touch the ground, but it still has the use where it stuns enemies. Chaos Boost level 3 allows him to do a Chaos Blast, which is just... And there is a level 4 power-up that can be unlocked simply by S-ranking his entire campaign that allows him to take his rings off and basically become Super Shadow and just annihilate everything. And that is the most fun part about Shadow. He now finally plays like how we see him in cutscenes, and that truly is the most beautiful part about this game. Chaos Boost fully justifies the forced combat and enemy spam in his stages because it is so fun to use this power, but the only way to keep this power is to keep killing enemies. Flame Core is the most fun stage because I love trying my hardest to keep my inhibitor rings off for as long as possible just by constantly killing enemies, because once you take those rings off, you better make sure you keep killing enemies so you don't run out of power, because if you do, there is a 10-second cooldown where unless you're grinding, Shadow will stop and can't do anything. If he's in the air, he will drop like a rock, so if you're above lava or above a bottomless pit, you are going to die. So there is the challenge of making sure you don't use it at the wrong time. Mastering this level 4 Chaos Boost makes it so much more rewarding to you. The thing that ties all this combat together is the scoring system. I mentioned before how you can use Shadow's abilities to reach out out-of-range enemies without touching the floor, because staying off the ground is how you keep your score multiplier going when fighting groups of enemies, and the only reason you want to have that score going is because there is no better feeling in this world than seeing the word perfect in rainbow text with some insane number. The way you attack enemies and mastery of Shadow's playstyle is so important to keep that score up, and same with Sonic, except he can use his bounce to delay the score from finalizing because it technically counts as an attack. This makes up for the slow speeds because speed running isn't really an option. Well, it is for Sonic, but only for Sonic. But that's what I like. Sonic's playstyle is more about speed and Shadow's is more about power, and that perfectly fits their characteristic. For once, Shadow is more than a Sonic clone. He's his own character, and it gives justice to the amazing storyline his campaign has in this game. As I said, if you were to ask someone out of the 3 campaigns in this game which was the best, most people would probably say Shadow. He has an amazing story, and he also isn't silver. A fucking piece of shit. Also, a lot of minor changes have made all the difference as well. You can choose to have a lock-on reticle for homing attacks, and for when Rouge and Shadow use bombs. Mid-level cutscenes were added, and cut dialogue was restored. Omega has a first-person turret mode that makes him so much more fun to use. Knuckles doesn't throw the most pathetic punches to ever exist. Rouge can kick and dive like she used to in the adventure games. The silver ball that Sonic has to run on an aquatic base can take an extra hit, and controls much better, although Super Sonic doesn't even fucking work for it. Sonic's gems actually work how they should. You have these little boosts that you have to go through in the section in Wave Ocean where Sonic has to glide on water. And the game is just overall so beautiful. I'll keep saying it. It is just gorgeous to look at. I genuinely forget how shit the original game actually looked until I actually go back and look at it. Like, fuck me, it was disgusting. And it doesn't surprise me. It was 2006. The next main definition of age that was part of the original game was the Mach Speed sections for Sonic. At the end of 4 stages, Sonic will start running in a mad dash to get to the end, but has no way of slowing down, can barely turn, does the retard dance if he touches a wall or an air particle. His wall jump animations look like this, and he can't move while jumping. If you're slightly off course and you jump, you are dead. There is no second chances. Also, the light speed dash absolutely rapes the camera. Too many deaths were to come from this, which leads to a game over, which leads to a million more loading screens. Now, everything is changed. Sonic's speed is increased, and his running animation looks so much better. The camera is closer. The speed lines around the screen really show how fast you're actually going, but you can bounce and slide to actually slow yourself down, even to a point where you can just literally explore the area. Hit detection and collision works as it should. When you hit a wall, you bounce back to give yourself a second to kind of regain control. Overall control is much better, and you can move while in the air. I mean, that was actually the only change that was needed, but I mean, why stop there? Also, Super Sonic is an incredible addition to the game. You can actually do a Mach Speed section with Super Sonic, which is fucking wicked. Super Sonic will give him a little speed dash, a much higher jump, and the ability to kill anything he touches, as well as attract rings. And to be honest, this has somehow led to me killing myself in new ways. But I think that kind of covers all the important stuff about this game. Sonic 06 has truly been enhanced, and it's not even finished yet. There are still some issues, I have complaints, but the one thing that bothers me the most is the vehicle controls for Shadow. I think the buggy needs to control more like it's GTA. Same with the bike. The hovercraft annoys the fuck out of me because every time it goes airborne, you have to wait for it to slowly float down to go forward again. Being able to aim it downwards and then move would help so much because the pacing of vehicle segments are still very slow, and it takes the piss. There are some other glitches as well that exist in this game, but it doesn't even matter to me. As I said earlier, if a game is fun to me, I can look past any glitch. It doesn't matter how game-breaking it could be. The game just has to be fun, and that's what it is now. There is just too much good to even think about being negative, and my biggest complaint is I just want more. No longer can the game actually frustrate me unless I'm the one being the idiot. The original game had DLC as well, so I would love for those to get remade. I'm also very excited to see what the boss fights and last story will be like, and how Amy and Blaze will play, because so far they are the only characters that we have not been able to play as yet. I think with Amy, the combat with the hammer should feel more like Knuckles and Rouge, making her a lot more useful. And Blaze, to be honest, wasn't terrible in the original game to begin with, but this remake or remaster, whatever you want to call it, is absolutely gorgeous. So that is something you could say with any remake, but the thing with this is that you fix an unfinished game that was so broken, but would definitely deserve the second chance. Sonic Colors never deserved the remaster. Okay, cool, we have a port of Sonic Colors for consoles, but that wasn't very needed, because even though Colors was great, it wasn't that special. Sonic Colors is the game, but I feel like the franchise just went absolutely stale. But the thing is, the original 06 could have truly killed Sonic, and to be honest, probably made all the difference. It's kind of scary to think where the franchise would have gone if this game was successful all those years ago. I think they just decided to scrap the multiple characters and the adventure playstyle because this game was just shit. But I miss the adventure gameplay, I miss multiple story campaigns, and I miss having multiple playable characters, all things that were ruined by this game just sucking absolute dick. But Sonic 06 broke boundaries. Most of the time it was in-game, game when it wasn't supposed to, but a game that takes risks like killing the main character and being revived for an epic final showdown against a creature that is literally about to destroy all of time and existence is so much better than a game where the main antagonist runs off like a little bitch. Sonic 06 was a grand adventure that deserved better, and that's what Chaos X has given us. I wanted to go more in depth because the last video I did just didn't do the justice for Project 06 that I could have done. Chaos X, I doubt you're watching, but on the off chance you are, thank you so much for what you have given to the people. It hasn't felt great to be a Sonic fan in years. If you haven't checked this game out, please do so. It is truly amazing. But if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, have a good one.